Before starting getting into this movie review, I would love to give a huge shout out to Matt Brunette, aka Ant-Man, for his full-fledged 20-minute reviews on this year's Hotel Transylvania Transformania and the Ice Age Adventures of Buck Wild, which inspired me to make this attempt to reach this 15 to 20 minute mark on this movie review. And that will be DreamWorks The Bad Guys. As some of you may know, the start of the 2020 decade symbolizing a decline in DreamWorks animation quality. As you can see, after last year, with Spirit Untamed and its sequels that began, which I'll get into in my next movie review of another DreamWorks animated film. But for now, after watching some trailers of this little animated film with a heist genre, it looked pretty promising. And best of all, it's one of the few original animated films to come from the company since the 2019 Abominable, which seemed very promising and a breath of fresh air. It might be a good start for this year. But did it exceed it? Well, here's what I believe. Judging by the trailers, to start things off, the premise doesn't seem all that original, with modern animated films starring anthropomorphic animals in big cities. It has been done several times before, including sequels, like with Disney's Zootopia, Illumination Sing, and Lionsgate, or some entertainment's Rock Dog. But there's something different regarding its themes. Instead of about one character trying to pursue his dreams, it's about not just one character in The Bad Guys, but 5 characters who try to go through this character arc from being bad guys to developing to good guys. Like, it's a different story trend, which isn't all that original. Like with Illumination's Despicable Me and Disney's Wreck-It Ralph. And ironically, DreamWorks itself with Megamind. However, the execution, it's what really made this film enjoyable, especially with its opening and ending action sequences and its impressive use of comedy compared to the previous DreamWorks anime films release we've got. And there's like another variety of animals featured, but different ones, specifically predators and all that stuff. And as a usual DreamWorks movie, there is your average gas humor, like with the piranha character, and you'll get the gist of it very soon. So, this premise and story might not that be original at first glance, but its execution with its action sequences and impressive use of comedy is really what makes this film admirable. Moving on to the animation, the animation style is also in an evolving trend that started way long ago, like with the Lego movie, the Peanuts movie, and even Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and the addition, those streaming, The Mitchells vs. the Machines. And after many of the realistic movements in the previous subpar output DreamWorks have put out, this film is visually distinctive. Like, while it follows the trend of that similar animation style, what this film is presenting is like a storybook feel to it, even though it was based on a graphic novel. It's, you know, just look at the source material, and I find it very refreshing to see that on the big screen compared to the much realistic details onto it. And there's any flaws to get out of the way before, it's the character designs, especially with their mouths. Like, another trend to compare is like with how they use this cow art style to design the characters, especially with the humans in the background. Like this happened with several, like Luca, Hotel Transylvania, Transformania, and Turning Red. While it is mostly off-putting with those films like this, it is going to be getting used to, as it is trying to be different. I respect that. So, mostly don't have problems with the animation overall for the most part. While different from the previous, it still works on its own. Now finally with the characters, starting with this motley gang of criminals on this heist mission. The way they are executed makes them more funny compared to another heist film which had an unlikable cast, like with The Nut Job, if you take my name for it. Well, starting with the wolf, he shows the most development over the course of the film, like letting his instincts kicking in soften after he shows a bit of kindness to another and tries to stick with it in order to stop the bad guy. He's, while not original with going from bad to good, he does give out the most heart to this film, while the others deliver the humor. And speaking of which, with his gang, starting with Tarantula, she's like the hacker of the gang, and Shark, he's more like the disguise distractor of the group, and Piranha, while he is like a flatulent predator, he's known for like laying low due to his size, and there his right then is Wolf's right hand man, Snake, while he is mostly grumpy during birthday parties, something it can show that he still cares for his friends. While written wise they aren't original and just one dimensional, they are fun cast to watch. Along to help the crew change the air of their ways is Foxney Denang Foxington. That's her name. Like, he tries to support the gang to like drop their criminal acts in order to take down the bad guy from this meteor. Finally, the twist villain of the film, named Professor Marmalade, he's just a one note villain with a twist, like he isn't that memorable to begin with as a hamster, you know. But his suave British accent is what makes him just okay at best. The character wise may be getting more used to it sometimes. but the way they are written brings out the heart and humor more than anything. So overall, after 2 years of boredom, I found DreamWorks The Bad Guys to be one of the most better during the 2020 decade, with an engaging heist story with likable characters and this evolving stylized animation style. I believe it's one of the more good films to watch during your time, and I recommend it. As for my rating, I would give this an 8 out of 10 as a good movie in general. Please stay tuned for 2 movies separately. One for my next review next month, and one for DreamWorks. One will be the Bob Burgers movie, and next will be the Long Way Puss in Boots sequel, The Last Wish. Take care.